Alright, boys, I got a story time for you. I haven't been doing much of these anymore. I used to do them all the time, so I figured I'd just get one out because some shit just happened. A few months ago, it was like a month or two ago, actually. And this story time in particular is going to be about the time my mom found my cart and my vape. Now, I want to preference this by saying that you should not at all ever be doing this. It's not good for you, especially when I get into the details of how I actually found this thing or these things. So, yeah, don't do what I did. This is just for entertainment, all right? I'm just trying to tell a story time and share my experience. Maybe I can relate to y'all. If you do enjoy the video, just smash a like, maybe sub. I do some pretty dope shit on this channel, so if you enjoy my content, you enjoy me, but more importantly, you enjoy story times and Fortnite and drums, you can hit that fucking subscribe button. But let's get into this. So, this took place about a month ago, maybe two. I'm not super good with time anymore. And I go on a bunch of walks. I walk all the time. It can be in the morning, the afternoon. It can be sometimes at 12 o'clock at night. I walk all the time. And I don't really know why. I think it's just because it helps me with mental stuff, and I'm a music guy, so I can listen to music. But I'm getting sidetracked here. I would go on these walks, and in previous videos, I would talk about this specific road. I don't really do it anymore, because I got curious and made a mistake. Me and my friend, or I guess ex-friend now, used to go to this road. I've talked about it before, called Jackpot Road. It's not the actual name of the road, but we called it that because you could find weed, you could find vapes, carts, we found anal lube. It was really, you just find a lot of stuff because all the high schoolers and shit come down that road to go back home. So this time I was by myself, and I decided to just go on a walk down there, and I came across two things over the course of maybe a week. At first, I found this vape. I believe it was a 50 bar. It was this gray and white one. I don't remember the flavor for those who are gonna ask. I found that, and then I also found a few days later, because I was like, oh, I can find shit on this road again. I found this cart. Now, again, I've talked about it before in my previous story time about my first and only time vaping. Yeah, that's a lie now. But don't pick things up off the side of the road. Like, if you personally are going to vape or smoke or do whatever you're going to do, I don't encourage it, but buy it from a friend, or if you're going to smoke, buy it from a shop, man. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, I got both of these things and I took them home. I haven't smoked before this point, smoked weed. I'd been around it, but I'd never gotten high. So I hit the vape and I started coughing like a motherfucker. So that took me a while to get used to. But then when I smoked weed, the cart, obviously it felt really nice. But the thing was, it almost like closed my throat a little bit. And I had to like cough to open it back up. It didn't actually close my throat, but it like made my throat like so tight, and like you might know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I did that. I was like, oh, that's more manageable than the vape. Fast forward, I have these things for like a month or so. At this point, I couldn't control myself. I would get high every day, all day, and I would act very weird around my parents. And they started to notice. I went to the gym one day, with my dad, and my mom decided to stay home, and I thought there was no problem with it. I was like, yeah, she didn't go to the gym all the time, that's fine. But I didn't realize that the main goal in mind was to ransack my room. So when I got back, she didn't say anything to me immediately. I went upstairs, and when I was about halfway up the stairs, she was like, hey, so I found two vapes in your room. I had them under my pillow. I guess I was so high that I thought keeping them both in my pillow was a fucking good idea. She was like, yeah, found 2 vapes. What's up with that? And of course my dad's in there. He's like, what? He was like, I thought he was gonna fucking beat my ass, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, yeah. Because at that point I wasn't gonna like, oh, what's this? A vaporizer? And a cartridge. Oh, that's really despicable. You know, there was no way I was getting out of it because they found it in my room. So I was just like, yeah, what about it? And they were like, how long have you been doing this? And I was like, not long. Like, how'd you find this? Or like, how'd you get this? And I was like, yeah, I just found it off the side of the road and I got curious and I decided to take them home and started hitting them. Which was 100% true. Obviously, they throw that away, and I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, I don't have my weed anymore. I was like, I had been smoking for like a month, dude. Like, a hot minute for a first timer, dude. As soon as she took it away, both the nicotine and the weed, I was like, I can't enjoy life the same. For the next 3 days, that was my mindset. I can't read a book. I can't take a shower. I can't sleep. It won't be the same, you know, and I still did those things, but it didn't feel the same, you know? That's one of the dangers of smoking, come to realize. I don't know what I've put in my body over the years. Like, I've smoked a bunch of things off the side of the road, whether it be with that other friend Bartholomew, is the name I gave him, or now it just being on my own. Understand this, I wasn't really trying to find, like, weed or anything. I was just on my normal walk, and I came across it, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, I'm not buying it off of anyone, you know, I don't even know anyone who could get me it, which I think maybe is a good thing, because I think I would have just, I don't know, dude. I didn't have any intention of finding it. I wasn't looking for it, so I just stumbled upon it, and I think that's what was so attractive about it at the moment. It was like I was content with my life, and I was like, oh, look, a little booster, and then, you know, so that snowballed into that, but, you know, my parents are pretty upset with me, and I was actually going to sleep, because I don't want to talk about it. I was so fucking, like, I was honestly, like, depressed. My dad comes in, he's like, I'm going to bed. Also, there will be no fucking vaping in my house. And I was like, okay, I got it. I understand. You know, my bad. But really, if there's a moral of this, it's gonna be the same thing as I said in my previous videos. If you are going to smoke weed or nicotine or meth, I don't even care, dude. Don't find it on the side of the road. Our motto was, me and Bartholomew's, was, it's on the side of the road for a reason. Weed and nicotine addicts don't just throw out half-empty cartridges. They don't. They do not do that. So, I don't know why it was on the side of the road. I mean, could you imagine? Put that in any other context. A Xanax fiend, he just throws his bars out the window because he just feels like it. No one does that, man. So it's either some Moofington bullcrap or it's, you know, something else is going on. But the point is you don't know. Also, you can very easily make a dependency out of that shit. I don't mean to be a dad here online, like, oh man, Mary Jane. I'm just saying, like, it is hard to control yourself whenever you can just keep smoking and smoking and smoking. It really is. It's not the worst in the world, but it's not good for you. As the owner of this channel, I have a responsibility to try my best to take care of my fans. Or the people who, I wouldn't even say fans, people who come across my videos and are bored and maybe hide themselves. Maybe that's the only time I'm funny. I want to encourage y'all to stay on the right path. So, if you did enjoy this story time, please leave a like. Like I said, if you like this content here, consider sticking around. I'd love to have you in my community. I got almost 60 subs. I'm on the road to 100 still. You guys can make it happen. Please do. That would be amazing. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope that all of you have a very, very good rest of your day. Peace out, guys.